Hello and welcome. I didn't know what camera to look at. Whoopsie doodles. But that's alright. Onwards and upwards. Election wrap up. It's got to be done. It's got to be said. Epic election, I must say, across the board. And quite, well, when I say surprising, I thought we would see a three-party coalition. Hopefully, God willing, we'll have a two. But yeah, surprising results all around. I'll cut to the old official Electoral Commission website here, and yeah, I mean national. Basically, I mean when you look at that number and you look at Labour on 600,000, say, and then I mean there's 300,000 people between, give or take. We've still got a lot of votes to count, but it's not that much. I mean, 300,000 is, yeah, I mean, it's definitely there. So not even a million votes are on national. How many in total votes do we have? Okay, 2.2 million votes. With is that inclusive of? I don't know if that's inclusive of the 567,000. 20.2% of the votes still to be allocated. Jeepers. Oh, okay. 2.8 million total. That's and the voter turnout estimated 78.4. Which, I don't know how that compares. Oh no, here we go. This compares with the final 8. So voter turnout was down. That's what I worried. I worried going into this election that people would just not care enough to show up. And sadly, yeah. See, and I mean, even 92.6 estimated eligible voters enrolled. So we're down on eligible enrolled voters, and we're down across voter participation, which is sad, very sad. There are countries in this world, people, where you don't get an option. But anyway, let's take a closer look at these numbers. I mean, the Green Party, I think that they have done better. I think they're usually 13. They might still, with specials, get to that sort of 13%. But they were screaming green wave, and I mean, they've got 14 seats is a good turnout. And I mean, I'll say this again, my stance on the Green Party, if they stuck to their knitting of the environment and didn't blow out into the way left of the political spectrum, I think they should be in coalition with any government. Because we need the environmental cause front and centre. I think it would be nice if they could just focus on the government, focus on the environment enough to work with both sides. But sadly, they've picked their path, and they'll have to live with that for a while. But I mean, did we all watch Chloe Swarbrick and go, it sounds like you've won the whole election? Like, she got up there with the audacity that only she could muster and basically let loose in a victory speech. And I was like, okay, that's a bit odd. I'm not a big fan of her. Ever since that OK Boomer whole situation, I've just been put off. She reeks of a little bit of arrogance with a hint of ignorance. So I just can't, in all good faith, stomach her horsery. But anyway, ACT, in terms of the right side of the political spectrum in New Zealand, you got national. ACT is definitely further right than national, and I am encouraged that, and I wouldn't even call ACT far right. They're not. If any media people try and tarnish them as far right, they're not far right. Don't be silly. We can go a lot further. Let's not. But anyway, National's almost forgotten that they're on the right side of the political spectrum. They're so centrist now. They haven't really come up with anything that I'd consider a right-leaning policy at all, to be honest. I mean, but the seats 11 is pretty big for them, and I'm still, again, I'm praying to the gods and all things good that they don't have to ring Winston. We do not want a three-party coalition. End of story. Like, it's traditionally, I'm trying to think of the last one. Labour Greens New Zealand First, which they didn't really hit. They had a memorandum, I think, but yeah. I mean, it's so clumsy and top heavy, and there's so many chefs, very little servers. The kitchen turns into a mess, basically. So I'm praying, and I think all New Zealanders should be. Yeah, I don't know. How do New Zealanders feel about that? Do we want Winston in there? I think it's a burden and an inefficient sort of clumsy three-piece. You know, like, it really is the awkward three-way no one asked for. And I'm sorry if that conjured up an image in your head, but no one asked for that. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts, I guess. I personally, I think it's too clumsy. At least we can get stuff done, because what we are severely lacking in this country is getting things across the line and done. And if you add a third perspective, a third ego, a third, like, it just starts getting very, you know, and this is one of the problems, inherent problems of MMP. But I digress. So back to this. Anyway, I think this is all, you know, pretty selfish. Te Pāti Murray, I mean, 4 seats, they just waltzed it, and they only got 58,300 votes. I mean, yeah, is 4 seats representative of 60,000? Let's say 60,000 votes by the time specials. 60,000 votes and they get 4 seats. That seems... Yeah, I don't know if that's quite representative. Opportunities Party. I mean, look at that. It's so... I feel for Raf Manji. He should have got Ireland. I was praying to the gods he got Ireland, but it wasn't to be. Yeah, top. I think they will build. They've done some awesome things. I mean, the biggest reason, I voted top. They dropped the universal basic income policy, which was a very, very right, the left, sorry. It was a very left-leaning, basically everyone's on a benefit and the top earners it's like a 60% tax rate or something to make it work. It's not good. It's socialism incarnate. So they dropped that and they've got they're really focused on young New Zealand, you know, and I celebrate that. So I'm glad to see you got 40. But it is annoying that, you know, Te Pāti Murray gets 15,000 more votes, gets 4, and they just Anyway, the system isn't perfect. Loyal NZ. Did anyone see the Loyal NZ? Was it a lady? I can't think of her name right now, but basically she was on the podium and said some insane things like there was 2 million votes for them or something, and it's like, love, there's only 2.8 people voting. Like, what's going on here? Yeah, Loyal NZ. I know nothing about them. I literally heard about them on election day when I looked at the pamphlet. So yeah, intriguing. The legalised cannabis party, 8,700 votes. I mean, we need to have some discernment over these parties. I mean, Freedom NZ. God. Yeah. We won't. Do we talk about Freedom NZ? We can talk about Freedom NZ. Freedom NZ. I'm encouraged by the fact they only got 7,000 votes because to be honest, I have read their stuff and it's pure insanity. Well, not pure insanity. Obviously, they're not like throwing excrement around the place, but they've definitely got some fringe ideas and they're acting on them. Which, I mean, go wild, people. But I'm encouraged by the fact that they only get 7,000 votes and they don't even. It's just not happening. People can see what it is for what it is. Thankfully. So, yeah, I mean, that pretty much democracy, you know, animal, new conservatives, they're all just, he's, okay, New Nation Party. Right. Yeah, and onwards and onwards. Okay. So, yeah, surprising and unsurprising. I mean, I'm hopeful that basically we have a two-party coalition heading in. The Specials is going to potentially, I don't know if they're traditionally left-leaning or right-leaning, I don't know that, but they might skew one way. I'm not sure if anyone could tell me that actually even. But I'm hoping it keeps the status quo and we don't, like, because even if National Act lose one seat, they have to make an awkward-ass phone call to Winnie the Pooh. And I think we should all as a country come together and, you know, and just will that into being. You know, will the two-party coalition into being. Hopefully. So, I think it was, I mean, the level of the swing to National, I was predicting, but when you see it like that I mean, Labour just, the one loser on the day was Labour. Everyone else generally won. Labour just got absolutely, it was a bloodbath. Absolutely bloodbath. They got kicked out of a lot of electorates. People just, yeah, not happy with them. So, hopefully, but I think it was a vote for change, not necessarily National. I don't think National can claim a victory here because people wanted change. They're just the other muppet on the board. You know, like, I don't think you can take that as a victory per se. They were just sick of the other person more than that person. Like, and National has to do a big job in fixing, you know, a few stuff-ups of the Labour, but also, like, they've got to come up with some fresh ideas and get going real quick. You know, because I do admire Labour's tenacity. I mean, at least they tried Kiwi Build. It was a disaster, but they tried it. You know, like, on one hand, we can slander them all we like for the absolutely horrendous outcomes of that policy. But they gave it a go. You know, like, well done for trying. We need to, the vision and the ability to pull that policy together. I mean, yes, they made some critical mistakes along the way for various reasons, but they gave it a go. You know, like, and what's National going to do? Like, have they got an audacious plan that they're going to give a bloody good crack? Essentially, no. Like, if you look for all this stuff, they've basically Labour's policies with a blue tick in front of it. Like 300 police officers. That was, like, yeah, there's no audacious grand vision here. It's much of the same. So, hopefully, they surprise, and hopefully, the first 100 days will pretty much tell us what we need to know. Once these specials come through, and I'm surprised at the amount that are specials, but hopefully they keep the status quo and National get into it with a rip snorter of a first 100 days. Otherwise, people are just going to throw their hands up and go, well, you know, what now? And they've got some big promises to also keep to people, you know, like reversing tax deductibility. There's all these things that they've got to get to lickety-split. Anyway, that's my thoughts. That's my wrap up. I think it was to be expected for the most part. But I think the most concerning thing is that drop in voter participation. That's never good. You know, like, it's never a good sign. People leaving or losing faith or losing the importance in the democracy, essentially. That needs to. Hopefully, we can restore that faith. Or hopefully, national. I don't know. I'm not convinced. But anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know if you absolutely bristle at anything I said. Please let me know one way or another. And till next time, thank you.
Artlist.io